You know, the good news is there's no homily today. The bad news is I'm still going to talk. So what we're going to talk about today is the beginning of our diocesan campaign. And I'd like to walk us through what this is and why I believe we should support it, and all sorts of things, okay? So first of all, you may or may not be aware, I don't know, but the number of people who are seeking to go to Catholic schools has skyrocketed in the last few years. And it's a great problem, but it is a problem because we've run into a few things, and this is going to shock you. One of them is money. What? Yeah. The second is many schools are now maxed out. And in the end, the diocese began this effort a few years ago to start gathering data. What can we do? What do we need to do? And what they did is identified three needs, primary. The first need is a category called teacher retention. And we have been blessed at Holy Family to be remarkably stable in this area. But I've been at 8 Catholic schools now as a priest. And what the norm tends to be is your Catholic school teachers are either retired public school teachers or brand new teachers right out of college. And those brand new teachers right out of college eventually get to the point where they realize financially they can't afford to work at a Catholic school. It's a normal reality. We can't pay anywhere near what the public schools pay. And so you tend to have a pretty big exodus. For us this year, we lost 4. We have 4 teachers who at the end of the academic year needed to move to the public schools to teach. And so one of the things the church identified as kind of the biggest need is teacher retention and teacher support. So the second need they identified is tuition assistance. In our parish, we don't follow the typical model. The typical model is, what is the cost to educate? And then you charge that for tuition. We don't do that. We couldn't do that. We would lose almost all of our parents. We take an over $2,000, in a sense, hit per child in terms of the cost to educate. But even with that, of course, it's still expensive, and it drives us nuts. I stay up nights wondering how we can make Catholic education more affordable. But be this as it may, every year people apply for financial assistance from the diocese, and the diocese hands out a lot in financial aid. But with this new rush toward Catholic schools, what we're finding is the diocese doesn't have sufficient funds to meet all the needs. So that's the second thing. We have an endowment from which we disperse aid. It's not enough anymore. The third need that we looked at, or that they identified, is needs. I should probably look at what I wrote down. Do you think that'll help? All right. There we are. Special needs is the category it's called. A lot of Catholic schools kind of got grandfathered in on some of the requirements to help students who will need physical help or learning help. And while we'll never be able to do, the public schools are amazing at meeting special needs. We are not, and we want to begin to try. So that's the third need. To that end, the diocese created then a campaign. And what we'll do is put 3 endowments into place. Well, the first endowment, of course, for tuition, it's already there. We want to add to it. But also to create an endowment for teacher retention, namely bonuses for staying on, that sort of thing. Right now, we try to do bonuses in Jesus points. It's not working. Let's just get that out there. So that's, in a nutshell, the campaign we're being asked to contribute to. But we, at Holy Family, we added a fourth thing. because as time goes on, the fact that not a lot has been done to maintain our buildings and such, it's genuinely catching up to us. There were also agreements made with the city of Grand Blanc years ago that we haven't kept, and they want us to keep them. And these things all cost money that we do not have. So to that end, we added a parish goal onto the diocesan goal. And the goal for our parish, with all four of those things, is $3 million. That $3 million will hit our target for those three endowments, as well as help us meet and keep the word we gave to the city and address some of our issues. Now, in terms of our part of the campaign, I wrote about it in the bulletin. Right? I'm not going to talk about it because then I'll start obsessing. So please make sure and read the bulletin article, preferably during the homily. This is awkward. So a couple things. First, I know one of the things here that I hear a lot, I don't want to give to the diocese. Okay, A, don't tell our bishop that, please. B, this is not going to go to the diocese. Bishop Earl has been longing to do something like this for a long time. Therefore, he paid for the entirety of this. No diocesan funds will be taken from this at all. The four things that we're giving to will go directly there, to the three endowments and to our parish. If we raise that $3 million, $1 million will come back to us and allow us to address some very serious concerns. So that's something I'll ask you to keep in mind. The second thing, and I've had a couple people very nicely, not mean at all, well, Father, I don't have kids in Catholic school. Why should I participate? I tried the thing my mom would do because I said so, but that didn't work. Write that down. No, but all kidding aside, what I tend to point out and what I'll offer to you is parents who choose Catholic schools, they still fund public schools. They've done it their whole life. Their taxes go to the public schools. And why do they do it? A, it's kind of the law, but B, they're all our kids. Catholic school or public school, we should be concerned about their future, and we should be willing to bleed for them. In the end, what's going to happen is you're going to get a letter from our bishop, and he's going to kind of make his case for the campaign to you, and he's going to ask you to donate to the campaign, either through a one-time gift of $17 million, we'll take it, or some kind of pledge spread out over 1, 3, 5 years, whatever you wish. If our parish, again, hits that $3 million, we will have $1 million to address some of our issues. Building issues, not your priest issues. You're stuck there. He might even have an amount. I heard he's putting amounts he's asking you to give. I don't know. You do your best, please. That's what I'm asking. I'm asking that we all participate. A national statistic, and it is true at every church I've been at but this one, is that 4% of the congregation provides 80% of a parish's budget. That's the national average in Catholic Church. Here at Holy Family, it's about 28%, which is amazing. 28% of us provide 80% of the church's budget. But 50% don't give at all. And in that regard, I'm asking if you would please consider giving. If you don't usually give, and please, this can really make a big difference for us. And it can make a huge difference in the lives of kids you won't meet until the kingdom of heaven. If we all participate in some way, it can really make a radical difference. So when you get that letter, please pray about it, think about it, and get after it. If we can get at least, my dream, of course, is that every registered family participates. And you might say, well, I can give $10 a month. Give $10 a month. Yeah? If you take 50% of our parish giving $10 a month, that almost doubles our budget. We could use the help. These kids could use our help. Last week, we got off to a strong start, and the campaign hadn't even started. One of our parishioners came forward and said, I'm going to pledge $100,000 over 5 years. We have officially begun with a ridiculously beautiful and generous gift. And I'm so grateful. It challenged me. And I remember reading C.S. Lewis when someone asked him, how do you define a sacrificial gift? He kind of said a funny thing, classic practical C.S. Lewis. He said, it's when you give enough where you notice every month, but you're fine. To that end, I sat down and figured out what is the best I can do. And to that end, I'm going to pledge $10,000 over 5 years. That's $166 a month. And being blunt, it's going to be hard. But I believe this is the right thing. And I want to sacrifice too. I don't want to tell you what you need to do if I'm not willing to do it. So this is what I got. And I cannot tell you how much I hate talking about money and asking for money. I'm sorry in one sense. I don't like doing this. I've been shaking for 2 days, right? This is the 4th time I've given this homily. But this is important, guys. We really got to try here at least to get ahead a bit so that we're not constantly operating on edge. We also need to do our part to help those kids who want to go to Catholic school and who just a little bit of help will get them there. And we can help with that. We can help our teachers so they're not sacrificing so much. So please pray about this. Please think about it and consider making a gift, something that will help us meet our goal of $3 million. Thank you. Let's rise and together profess the faith of the apostles. I believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth.